Oh, okay. Okie dokie, Uncle Bats. Uncle Batman.
As it can harm an unborn baby. Common side effects include nausea, headache, and tiredness. And more than just breast cancer. You have a lot more to go. Some things should stand the test of time. Long-lasting Eylea HD could significantly improve your vision. More people on Eylea HD have no fluid in the retina compared to those on Eylea at 4 months. Eylea HD is the only wet AMD therapy that has 8 out of 10 people go up to 4 months between injections after 2 initial monthly treatments. If you have an eye infection, eye pain, or redness, or allergies to Eylea HD, don't use. Eye injections with Eylea HD may cause eye infection, separation of the retina, or rare but severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye, and increased vision. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. The most common side effects are blurred vision, cataract, corneal injury, and eye floaters. And there's still so much to see.
Oh, that's it. Fast.
HD today for the potential for fewer injections.
The all-new CBS Evening News, not like anything else on TV.
Okie dokie.
You need to check. Let us get you to the story. Let her hear the story. Usually once you the terrorist.
Holy shit.
Oh! Who we are as Americans.
1,100 rupees.
Ending dial-up service.
The news here is that AOL still has dial-up service.
Just making sure,
In the
guys.
1990s, it was the way to connect to the internet with, at its peak, more than 20
More?
million subscribers.
To download the program, you click on the AOL icon, choose from a series of local phone numbers, and if you didn't get a busy signal, you hear some irritating screeches, and then...
Voila, you were online. And no one else in the home could use the phone.
But then came broadband and Wi-Fi, and most users said goodbye to dial-up.
Dial-up always was something on this now. In the 1990s, the touchpad had long since replaced
Already.
the dial.
Over.
I run my finger around until it firmly touches the finger spot. And now I remove my finger. And let the dial go back by itself.
And that says dial-up will hang it up on September 30th. Goodbye. Remember, you're trying to log in. You have time to go brush your teeth, make breakfast, make dinner, and then come back and you finally do it, right?
If you were on and somebody picked up the phone to make their call, they would not get off. Makes it feel like we're just playing around, like when our parents said, and the guy would bring a block of ice to your house for the icebox.
Then we had black and white TV.
That's
They're
right.
all there.
And now we're those people.
Yes.
CBS Evening News Plus will be with you in a moment on CBS News 24/7.
And we'll see you right back here.
Okay.
One in 3 U.S. consumers have been victim of identity theft, even though they get all the right things to protect their personal information.
I thought we did enough to keep a nightmare like this from happening.
Even if you take steps to protect your personal information, banks, hospitals, employers, and many government agencies all have your personal information too. And when they're exposed, careful monitoring of your accounts and credit won't be enough.
Is yours all
It's
you want?
scary when you think about how easily this kind of stuff occurs. And you might not find out until the damage is almost.
So this is a normal air mass right here from Texas all the way into the southeast.
This model shows low 80s, but I think we'll probably stop in the mid to high 70s and then come down through the 70s as we go through the afternoon on the way to the 50s.
So as the cold front is approaching Texas, we're going to notice that shift in our winds as well.
Tonight there's breaking news as we come on the air. The pictures coming in right now. There's been a deadly shooting out target, multiple people dead. Also a major explosion at a U.S. steel plant. It's been deadly. There is a search right now. And the small plane coming in for landing, careening off the runway, crashing into multiple planes. Flames shooting in the air. First tonight is deadly shooting late today outside of Target in Austin. Police racing to the scene. We've learned about the victims at this hour. Also, the emergency crews on the scene of that deadly steel plane explosion outside Pittsburgh. It's been deadly, and there's a search right now for the missing. We're on the scene. Also, just in the small plane coming in for landing, going right off that runway, crashing into multiple planes. What we've learned tonight, just 4 days before the high-stakes summit, President Trump and Vladimir Putin. Tonight, what the president now says he'll say to Putin, and what President Trump said when asked about President Zelensky not being there and the future of Ukraine. Tonight, President Trump ordering the National Guard to take over policing in the nation's capital. Tonight, the mayor of Washington pushing back with the crime stats and what they actually show. Tonight, could this be the first hurricane in the Atlantic, the tropical storm, now set to become a hurricane, and the potential traps tonight?
Oh, there it is.
Bringing
Okay.
it very close to the East Coast. Ginger Z is here. An Israeli airstrike killing 6 journalists when Gaza, and Israel is now claiming about one of the journalists. The scare in the water of 75 reports were both running aground in the rough seas. The victory celebration cut short. NASCAR driver badly injured when he suddenly fell off his car after victory. There's news tonight about the death of Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, the father of her children, the cause of death revealed. And America Strong tonight, the 100-year-old World War II pilot, back in the air tonight. We've got to see it.
Uh-oh. Oh!
Good evening, it's great to have you with us here on Monday night. We do begin tonight with the breaking news coming in now. There's been a deadly shooting at Target. Multiple people dead. This happened outside of Target in Austin, Texas. The shooter and winning police had a chase across the city. The Target on the north side of Austin just a week before school starts now. Families and their back-to-school shopping underway. 911 calls of an active shooter coming in just before 3 p.m. local time. Officers flooding the scene. Stunned shoppers escorted through that parking lot right there. Tonight, what we have learned, the suspect is now in custody and let me know about the victims. ABC's Matt Becker, leaving us Austin.
Tonight, 3 people pronounced dead after a shooting outside this Target in North Austin in a wild chase across the city involving at least 2 cars.
Awesome.
The incident unfolding this afternoon amid a slew of 911 calls.
The suspect is armed and has shot multiple people.
Just before 3 p.m. local time, social media showing a massive response at this Target just a week before the school year resumes in Austin.
Roger, hold up. Radio. Shots fired. Active shooter.
Three people that were shot inside the parking lot of Target.
By then, the suspect had already fled.
Just in case. Okay.
Police apparently losing track of the suspect until a bystander in South Austin called police for assistance nearly an hour later and cleared on the other side of the Texas Capitol. And David, police say they're still investigating the motive for the shooting. Now they say that this was a 32-year-old white male suspect with a rap sheet and a history of mental health issues.
Just days before the school year starts, with so many families are shopping. Matt Becker leaving us off tonight. And thank you. Thanks for following the explosion at a U.S. steel plant south of Pittsburgh, killing 1 worker, injuring at least 10 others. Tonight, there are time lapse of the surveillance video that actually captured the blast right there. Witnesses describing a very loud boom. The smoke triggered air quality concerns tonight. The explosion inside the facility ripping through a wall. You can see that charred pickup truck. At least one person still unaccounted for at this hour. There is a search underway right now. Stephanie Ramos is on the scene outside Pittsburgh tonight.
Tonight, authorities urgently searching through the rubble at this U.S. steel plant south of Pittsburgh after an explosion ripped through the facility, killing at least one person and leaving another unaccounted for.
Ah. Moron.
10 others injured, including one person officials say they recovered alive from under the debris.
Efforts are very focused on rescue at this point. We are still engaged in the incident.
Time lapse video capturing the burst of the Clinton Cookworks plant shortly before 11 a.m.
It sounded like a really big bang. It came outside and heard all the fire going on, a big black smoke.
Nearby residents advised to stay inside because of air quality concerns. Earlier today, Bishop Quinn telling reporters her brother Timothy, father of 3, was working at the plant when the blast happened.
We have 3 kids that are messaging me every 2 minutes, and we need answers.
Her worst fears tragically realized. 10-year-old boy didn't truly hungry today. Timothy was the victim who lost his life.
And David, authorities are still here on the scene.
Oh, okay.
This year, 2 workers at this same plant were injured after a buildup of combustible material ignited. In a statement today, U.S. Steel says they are investigating this incident and that employees' safety is a top priority.
Stephanie Ramos just outside Pittsburgh for us tonight on the scene. Steph, thank you. Also just in tonight, the images of a small plane coming in from landing in Montana, going right off the runway, and then crashing into multiple planes. Here's ABC's Trevor Ross.
Tonight, a dramatic scene on Montana runway. The officials say a small plane collided into another aircraft shortly after
cool.
landing.
There is a 2-plane crash at the Council Municipal Runway.
Thick black smoke rising above Kalispell, Montana. See a large fire stretching down this part of the runway. The fire chief tells ABC News a single-engine plane with 4 passengers on board crash landed at Kalispell City Airport and careened off the runway, striking an unoccupied small single-engine plane and several others. Miles Perry was even up nearby and saw the plane flying in.
Whatever.
David, 2 passengers were treated for minor injuries and somehow several others walked away unharmed.
David, Trevor Ross with these late images coming in. Trevor, thank you. Tonight, just 4 days now before the high-stakes summit, President Trump and Vladimir Putin. And this evening here, what the president now says to say to Putin. And what President Trump said today when asked about President Zelensky not being there and the future of Ukraine. Here's Martha Radstein.
Tonight, with the historic summit in Alaska just days away, President Trump seemingly downplaying what could come of it. But tonight, saying his message to the Russian president will be clear.
I'm going in to speak to Vladimir Putin, and I'm going to be telling them to get in this war. We got to end it.
The president, though, lowering expectations.
This is really a feel-out meeting, a little bit.
While Ukraine's President Zelensky has insisted he will not trade territory for peace, President Trump said again today there will be land swaps. 3 years after the Russian invasion, this is the Ukrainian land the Russians now control. The question is, will President Trump agree with Putin, who believes that land is now his? The future of Ukraine will likely be discussed by just Trump and Putin without Zelensky in the room.
Vladimir Zelensky was not invited on Friday. He wasn't part of it. I would say he could go, but he's gone to a lot of meetings. You know, he's been there for 3.5 years, nothing happened.
But it was Putin who invaded Ukraine, and he'll be at the table with President Trump. Tonight, Trump vowing to call Zelensky first after his face-to-face with Putin.
I'm going to meet with President Putin, and we're going to see what he has in mind. And if it's a fair deal, I'll reveal it to the European Union leaders and to the NATO leaders, and also to President Zelensky. I think out of respect, I'll call him first, and then I'll call them after. And I may say, lots of luck, keep fighting, or I may say we can make a deal.
So let's bring in Martha Radstein with us live tonight. Martha, the location of this summit in Alaska is also an interesting choice, obviously, given the history here between the U.S. and Russia involving Alaska. And as you point out tonight, this will be just President Trump and Vladimir Putin. President Zelensky will get a phone call after.
The location for the summit is interesting. The U.S. purchased Alaska from Russia in 1867. And David, President Trump had one of Zelensky at the meeting. It was Putin who nixed it. President Trump said he is still hopeful the three can meet in the future. And again, he has promised that his first call after the meeting will be to Zelensky.
Yo.
On the air with me here on Friday covering the summit. We'll look forward to that, Martha. I'll see you then. In the meantime, we turn to Washington, D.C. now, where President Trump has ordered the National Guard to take over policing in the nation's capital. Tonight, the mayor there pushing back with the crime stats and what they actually show. Here's Mary Bruce.
For the first time in American history, the president seizing control of the police in the nation's capital and deploying hundreds of National Guardsmen. Trump says to fight crime on the streets of Washington, D.C.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back.
President Trump declaring a public safety emergency in D.C., painting an apocalyptic picture. Adamant crime is spiraling.
Oh, come on.
But his depiction stands in stark contrast to the official figures, which show crime in the capital is actually in decline. Violent crime recently hitting a 30-year low, down 26% since last year. Burglary down 19%, murder down 12%. Still, the president said today that DC police will now
Six?
be able to do whatever they want.
They're standing there and people are spitting in their face, and they're not allowed to do anything.
All of it.
They're allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
Mayor Muriel Bowser today acknowledging her hands are tied. D.C. is not a state, and the president does have the authority to take over the city's police department.
How this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised.
The president has shown an eagerness to use military force in
There
major
you go.
cities. Earlier this summer, sending 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to quell immigration protests in Los Angeles. And tonight, he's threatening to do this to other cities, saying the model in Washington, D.C. could be used to combat crime in cities like Chicago, Oakland, and Baltimore, all cities notably in Democratic-led states.
We're not going to lose our cities over this. And this will go further.
So let's forget Mary.
They shut him up.
This could go further. So Mary, how soon could we see National Guard troops on the streets of the Capitol? Any idea for how long? And of course, that threat to do this to other cities as well.
More than 800 National Guard troops are now being called up. They will be on hand in the coming week. We're told working on a rotating basis to support law enforcement. It's not clear how long they will be on the streets of this city, but the president has said he's willing to go even further and bring in additional military
Already.
forces if needed. David.
Mary Bruce, of course, will continue to follow this, Mary. Thanks. Next tonight, Tropical Storm Aaron, we're watching it closely. Will it become the first hurricane in the Atlantic? The potential tracks right here tonight, and of course, some of them bring them very close to the East Coast. So, of course, let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z's been studying the models already. Ginger, what do they show?
Hi, David. Aaron is way out there in the Atlantic Ocean at this moment and headed west at 21 miles per hour, so it's cruising. But by Saturday, it does look like it won't only just be a hurricane, but a major hurricane potentially, north and east of the Caribbean. Now, this is the potential track that takes it between Bermuda and the United States, and we like it that way because 90% of the computer modeling right now, the spaghetti clock, has it curving away.
Spaghetti.
It's driven in part by that high-pressure system that we look this time of year for to steer these currents, but also the cold front. So if it squeezes between the two, that would be the best and most ideal situation away from most land. We're going to be watching really carefully, though, because every little deviation west or east will make a big difference. Here, a big one,
Bitch.
very high temperatures possible tomorrow from Burlington right up to Caribbean.
Potential for another heat wave now, Ginger. Thank you. We'll see you on GMA in the morning. Next tonight, we turn overseas and Israeli airstrike has killed 6 journalists in Gaza. And what Israel is now saying about one of the journalists. Many ask them, where is the truth? Here's our Chief International Correspondent, James Williamson.
As Israel prepares for a military occupation of Gaza City, it's facing growing condemnation tonight for the targeted strike on a group of Palestinian journalists in their camp outside a hospital. In emotional funeral today to remember
Oh, come on.
Al Jazeera news correspondent Anas Al-Sharif,
Gotcha.
4 of his colleagues, and another freelancer. Al-Sharif's presence laid on top of his body as he's carried through the streets.
1 rupee.
Israel has defended the strike, calling Al-Sharif a terrorist who helped Hamas launch rocket attacks. But Al Jazeera and the Committee to Protect Journalists say they have no proof.
Everyone in their lives to tell us that a small journalist has a better
Al-Sharif, who had a young family, gained millions of followers online documenting the war, while Israel bars international
Now do you
journalists from Gaza. He's the 184th journalist killed there by Israel since the war began. This is the IDF launches new strikes into Gaza, and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defends his controversial plan to occupy Gaza City.
Israel has no choice but to finish the job and complete the defeat of Hamas.
And David, Donald Trump has stopped short of endorsing that occupation plan, but he has repeated tonight Hamas must
Oh, cool.
David, James Longman reporting from London tonight. James, thank you. Back here in the U.S. tonight, a federal judge has denied the Trump administration's motion to release grand jury testimony from the criminal case against Jeffrey Epstein, co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell. In a scathing rebuke, the judge saying there's nothing in that testimony that isn't already public, suggesting the administration's request might be an intentional diversion and an illusion of transparency, according to that judge. Tonight, the CDC telling its staff the Atlanta shooting that
You see what happened?
targeted attack. Police say a 30-year-old Georgia man, Patrick Joseph White, blamed the COVID-19 vaccine for making him sick and depressed. He died during his attack. More than 10,000 CDC employees mentioned that they told the victim home tomorrow as officials assessing a further threat. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic, met with CDC leaders at its headquarters today. When we come back here tonight, the victory celebration cut short. The NASCAR star badly injured after a major win when he fell off of his car, and you'll see it here. Also, the scare in the water tonight, surfers told to clear the way. 75 for passenger boat right there. It was incredible, running aground in rough seas. And there's news tonight about the death of Kelly Clarkson's ex-husband, the father of the children. The cause of death now revealed in a moment here.
I know what you're thinking. Total blow up. What's your secret? Fine, I'll spill. I totally upgraded with Verizon. Everyone gets a free phone with any plan, even if you're already a customer, like me. Now I have Google Gemini. It's like a little glam squad in my pocket. Gemini, what eye makeup goes with this lipstick?
I'd suggest a classic cat eye.
Wow, setting the bar high for daycare pickup. Get in on this. If you have wet AMD, you never want to lose sight of the things you love. Some things should stand the test of time. Long-lasting Aaliyah HD could significantly improve your vision. More people on Aaliyah HD had no fluid in the retina compared to those on Aaliyah in 4 months. Aaliyah HD is the only wet AMD therapy that helps 8 out of 10 people go up to 4 months
Bless you. Take it.
after 3 initial monthly treatments.
You're
If you have an eye infection, eye pain, redness, or allergies to Aaliyah HD, don't use. Eye injections like Aaliyah HD may cause eye infections, separation of the retina, or very severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye. An increase in eye pressure has been seen. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. The most common side effects were blurred vision, cataract, corneal injury, and eye floaters. And there's still so much to see. If you are on your way for a similar type of treatment, ask your retina specialist about Aaliyah HD today for the potential for fewer injections. United Healthcare knows you've got your whole life ahead of you. Show me where you are. It's nice to know you're free to focus on what matters. With reliable Medicare coverage from United Healthcare.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second and quickly alerts you to identity threats you could miss. Like changes to your investment account, home type, and loans open in your name. Right on your phone. LifeLock. Join today.
It started. It's the side hug. 20 milestones made starting age 9.
HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start like
For most, HPV clears on its own, but for others, it can cause certain cancers later in life. Now, as a dad can, it's my key to help protect them.
embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination.
Tonight here, harrowing images showing a scare in the waters off Honolulu. A 75-foot passenger boat caught in rough waves, running aground. The Coast Guard clearing the area near Kewalo Basin Harbor. Surfers, swimmers, boaters all told to keep their distance. Witnesses say they thought the boat was going to capsize. There were 2 people on board. They were not hurt in this. Well, a difficult moment tonight for a NASCAR star. Short-lived celebration for NASCAR driver Connor Zilish. A 19-year-old rising star who was standing on his car in Victory Lane right there after his big win at Los Angeles International. You see he lost his footing, falling to the ground. He broke his collarbone. His next scheduled race is in 2 weeks. There's no word
Collarbone?
on when he'll return.
Just like 20-year-old back then.
Recovery. When we come back here tonight, there's news this evening about the death of Kelly Clarkson,
Wait.
ex-husband, the father of her children, the cause of death now revealed. And you have to see this tonight. A 100-year-old World War II pilot back in the Skyward. And his message will be at home.
When my doctor gave me breastfeed for my COPD, I noticed things changed.
Eso es lo que te digo que en el eso de en otros canales no presentando a eso, NASCAR.
Most people don't realize how processed typical dog food is. At the Farmer's Market, we believe dog food is daily nutrition without the excess processing.
Did you know it's possible to
Oof.
have a heart attack at age 36? I did it. Here's the tip. If you smoke, it's totally possible. That's what happened to me. You can quit. For free help,
Reminder, plan to make her appointment.
I don't want to wait or have surgery for my bigotries for trash. I want a non-surgical treatment.
Take charge of your treatment. If you can't lay your hand flat, visit findahandspecialist.com to get started.
What's great about information car shopping is it doesn't have to be scary. Show me some fun. No one knows cars and accidents.